Anytime, any day. Why not right now? Stop looking up to your boss and start being your own boss. Don't work for paychecks. Work for dreams with no regrets. This is Cracking the Entrepreneur Code. If you have the passion, we'll create the blueprint. Now, your host. You know him from his 7 tips to build the business you always wanted, and now you're about to hear a lot more. Jack H.M. Wong.
Welcome, and welcome to another episode of Cracking the Entrepreneur Code. And I have on my show today a very successful entrepreneur, and his name is Steve Clayton. Just a very quick intro. Steve is actually a professional DJ. He used to study in university for some reason because he got injured, and he picked up this hobby or the interest called DJing and playing music at parties. And somehow he turned this part-time DJing business into now a production in nationwide festivals and events. Welcome to my show.
Hi.
How are you today?
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So I really want to go straight to talking about this DJing business, because you said you pick up DJing while you were studying in university. Like, why, of all things that you can do, why this particular thing?
Why not? I mean, you get paid to party.
Right.
I mean, what better job is there in the world that making money and getting paid to entertain people at a social gathering? I mean, it was a mixture of my love for music and my desire to be an entrepreneur and my passion for the lifestyle that I can design and the freedoms that will create from that. That was kind of the kindling that started the fire.
So you were pretty clear at your age that you want to be an entrepreneur. You love music, and as a logical choice, this is how you started as an entrepreneur. Am I right to say that?
Yeah, listen, I mean, when I was in high school, a story I tell, driving to a high school basketball game, my buddy looks over at me and he's like, well, what are you going to do for a job when you get older? And I said, well, of course I'm going to play basketball for the rest of my life. But hey, when I'm not doing that, all I know is I want to wake up every day excited to go to work. I don't care what I do. Whatever it is, I want to be excited. I don't want to go another dragging day, another, boring day, or, oh gosh, I got to go into work and I have to clock in here and clock out there. No, I want to be excited. And I think starting in college, that excitement was with entertaining and music and putting on social events.
Right. You sounded very excited when you mentioned the word excitement. And to me, like, part of the success of an entrepreneur is this energy, because if you have high energy, that can drive you to do whatever you have to do. So energy is super important from my experience. Would you agree with that?
You nailed it. I mean, you have to have passion, right? And if you don't have passion, it's too rigid. I mean, passion is going to give you so much more than experience and knowledge, and passion is going to gain you those things later on. I mean, I didn't have knowledge. I didn't have experience. I mean, I started from nothing, and just for the love of entertainment and music and the desire to, make sure my wife didn't have to work and design my own lifestyle, design my world. That was why I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and that's why I picked up DJing early on. Now, just to clarify, with your introduction, and I appreciate I am not a DJ anymore. I'm no longer in that DJing field. I have a coaching program for DJs, and I'm in the process. I'm finishing a book for my journey from starting a part-time DJ business to creating a 7-figure income business that produces events. And like I told one of my daughter's little friends, little 10-year-old, the other day when he asked, well, what do you do now? And I was like, well, I just connect the dots. And he's like, well, literally, like, you have a book and you connect. No, I mean, figuratively speaking, like, I use my network and my resources in business to monetize my relationships and help people out,
So back in those days when you just started, obviously, like, a successful business, in my definition, provides ascension, so that what you do is you start at one level, then you progress to the next level. Obviously, I love the fact that you have transcended to the next level of coaching and connecting the dot. But I just want to backtrack when you just started this DJing business. Did you face any challenges or do you have any struggle?
Well, I mean, if you have anybody on the show that says no, they're lying, right? I mean, there's always struggle and adversity. I mean, I'll share one story would be identifying and acknowledging that period in my business in my life of when I was going to leave the safety and security and comfort of full-time job, which at that time I was a teacher, but it wasn't for me. That wasn't my passion. And leaving that steady paycheck, that insurance, health insurance benefits and retirement, and having 2 kids, a wife, and a mortgage and car payments, and leaving all that behind and saying, hey, I'm going to take this jump into just going full-time with what I believe in, what I know is going to be successful through my grind. That was definitely a challenging point in my life, yeah.
Because when I saw the bio that you shared with me, it reminded me Steve and Jack have very similar story, because I remember when I started, I left my job, which is a very high-paid job. I was a tax attorney. You can take a leap of faith and jump out of the plane. I always tell people that there's no way that I will return to the corporate world, because I always use the phrase jump out of the plane. And due to law of gravity, I can't climb back to the plane and continue the ride. It's really taking a leap of faith. And admire the fact that you did that. Did you enjoy actually when you take the leap of faith? Because you obviously said that you have safety, you're in comfort zone. But how do you feel when you make the decision, okay, I have decided I need to leave the corporate world from my stable job and go to something that I'm truly passionate. How did you feel at that point of decision?
Well, I reflect on that now, and I really think that I kind of relate a couple of terms to it. I've analyzed strategic risk. I've identified. First of all, I had vision. I knew I was going to get there. Mm-hmm. I just didn't know when I was going to get there. I didn't know when it wasn't like, hey, May 1st, I'm going to take this jump. You don't know when that's going to happen. So I had the vision to do it. I analyzed the strategic risk, and you'd write down, like, what are the pros and cons? What are my benefits of doing this, and what are my negatives? What am I losing from this? I surrounded myself with people. My wife was a great advocate and supportive of my decision. Was it scary for her? Oh yeah. I mean, when she told her dad, hey, my husband's going to be a professional DJ for the rest of life. I mean, what? Can you imagine what goes into her dad's mind? But so there's a couple of things that helped me get through that, and it was extremely scary time, but it was also exhilarating. It was thrilling. I think that athletics kind of gives you that grit, that grind of, like, you know what, like, I can do it. The limit of my capabilities are what I don't do. And so I think that was it. I set my mind to it, and something came up in my life at that moment and said, hey, now's the time to do it. And I did it.
And you have made it. And talking about the DJing business from part-time to full-time, and now you are no longer in that business, but you are coaching people how to do it. Like, at what point in time that you decided that you want to take on your business to the next level and become a coach or a teacher, teaching other people your trades, your skills?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was always coach at some point. I mean, I've coached in athletics. I coached basketball back to when I was 16 years old. I would coach little kids. And so I was always one that I liked to share my experiences with those that were interested, that were coming up. And the interesting thing is teaching, aside from coaching, different. You don't get to choose. The people have to take your class.
Yep.
And 90% of people didn't want to be there. Coaching, these people are paying to be there because they want to. They have the desire, just like you, to learn from your highs and lows and your mistakes and your greatest accomplishments of how to better themselves, whether it be basketball or in business. And so I've always had that in me. I also teach at University of California, Riverside, and started that event management program. And same there too. The people pay a big chunk of money to attend this program. It's not that they're forced to attend the program. So, it's a totally different dynamic. But I love talking to, the next generation of entrepreneurs and business people, and especially people that are in the event industry, not only DJs, but just in the event industry now as well, because that's my natural progression from part-time DJ to technical producer to event producer. Is that has been my journey. That's been my path.
That's very interesting. So you make a distinction between teaching someone and coaching someone. So if I am interested in doing DJ, I would like to get Steve, you as a coach, like what sorts of things are you looking at on me before you say, okay, I can coach you?
Are you coachable? Yeah, I'm sure you are, Jack. No, I think it's the clientele I'm looking for are people that that have this. I think professional etiquette and ethics are a big thing for me, and the desire, the passion to improve themselves. Mm-hmm. And one of my kind of niches, or one of my points, is I'm not one of those coaches that are only pitching, make more money, make more money, make more money. For me, money is it is definitely a necessary evil. I mean, everyone needs more money to live and to do the things they want to do. But for me, it was also about designing my world around the things that I love. Yep. Early on in my career, I didn't have the time. It's more about time. I didn't have the time to see my second daughter really kind of grow up. I don't remember, her first 2 to 3 years. I was teaching, working full time, 9 to 5 teaching. Mm-hmm. I was going back and getting my master's. I was, getting my business rolling and doing networking events after that, and doing sales meetings. And then on the weekend, I was actually doing the actual DJ work. And I don't remember that. And so what I hope is that I can provide some value to these people at that point, that can create some systems and structures in their life and business that enable them to be successful and provide them more time for the things that they really love to do.
And therefore, the time will come and the money will just be rolling in. And I like the statement, money rolling in and freedom rolling out, so you can pursue other interests that you love. I mean, that Absolutely. Is the number one thing about my own business coaching. Yes, money is important, because no money you can't pay your bill and have no thrills. But the key point is the underlying vision that you have. Like, what does it get for you if you have make all this money? Where do you want to see yourself, and what are your bigger goals? So that is, I guess we are very, very similar on that.
What are your priorities, right? I mean, if your priorities are fame and money, then that's fine. If your priorities are like, at the end of the day, you can't take any of this money and fame and you can't take your house with you to the grave, right? So like, are people going to say, hey, you know what? He was a great uncle, but I'm so glad he worked these extra Sundays and didn't go to Disneyland with his family? Or are they going to say, hey, he was always one, he worked hard, but he was always one to have plenty of time for his family, right? Those memories and things are the things that people are going to be able to take with them. So to me, everyone needs money. Everyone wants to make more money. That's a given. How can you have more time for the things that you love to do? Is it your family? Is it a hobby? Is it sports? What is it? Everyone has something. How can you have more time for that?
That's right. So in other words, coaches or your students, if you like, basically must have a clarity of what they want in their life. so that we as coaches are able to help them move forward or assist them in moving forward. Part of the problem that I'm facing in my group of people here in Singapore is that a lot of them actually don't know what they want. So yes, it's nice to say, well, you know what, if you do this, you have more time, more freedom. And when I ask, so if you now that you have the time and freedom, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? And I hear a moment of silence. Not a moment, but 10 seconds, 1 minute. You see, like, they do not know what they want. That becomes very difficult to help them.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine. I mean, if you don't have clarity of or a vision of what you want in your life, I mean, it could be something silly. Like, you know, one of the things for me, I always wanted a ranch. I wanted horses and I wanted a ranch because I wanted my own space. I wanted to be away from people and things like that. And it took me a long time and of being very patient and being diligent and looking and saving money. And finally, it happened. So that was maybe a 10-year vision of that's what I want. I still got to work every day to try to get to it. And finally, I achieved my objective. And Jack, I should say I don't consider it a goal because I really, for me, in my teaching to people, I consider goals endpoints. And nobody wants to get to the end, because at the end, then what do you have?
True.
The goal is the subjective destination. Like, I want to be the best DJ in San Diego, California. Well, 10 people might say yes and 50 people might say no and whatever, what have you. They're subjective. It can't be quantified. Objectives are mile markers along my journey to my goal. So objectives are objectively quantifiable, saying, hey, I want to do 10 weddings in December. I want to do 100 events in 2018. You can say yes or no. They're quantifiable. And so to me, that objectives are those destinations that you are achieving. Yes, I got there. Yep. Now on to the next one.
Yeah. So it's always a process, in other words.
Yeah, for sure.
So now that you are doing the business coaching for your very specific targeted audiences, what else do you see yourself that you're going to do for the rest of your life?
Well, that's a great question. I think my main the thing that I want to do and enjoy most is my animals, my family. I like kind of working from home and being around them and being able to drive 4 daughters. So I drive all of them to school, 3 different schools in 3 different cities.
Right.
So I like doing those things and being around. And that's family stuff. Business-wise, what am I going to do? I'm producing one of the country's largest, definitely California's largest cannabis music festival. I've been in that's a Chalice Music Festival, and I've been producing that for 4 years now, and nearing about 40,000 attendees, 40,000 people, and seeing headlining acts. We have a new cannabis event opening in Washington, D.C. in September. The cannabis event industry kind of found me. I didn't find it. My extended network has kind of pulled me in this direction, and now I'm producing different cannabis events all across the country, and it's got me to speak at conventions in Las Vegas. I'm speaking in Toronto in May. It's amazing. I'm so blessed.
Sounds good. Wow, amazing. Thank you for sharing on that. Okay, so the other question that I have is that now I'm going back to talk to my people who are struggling with what they're doing and they want to leave their job, they want to start their own businesses. Like, what would be the one piece of advice you can share with them? Other than the fact that they must have passion, the energy, what is the next thing that they must have before they can start their own businesses?
Well, so what you're telling me is they already have vision. They already know what they want to do. They have the passion in it.
Yep.
So I think the other thing, or the other 2 points are one, they have to analyze the risk reward factor.
Yep.
Strategically analyze. So okay, hey, I'm going to leave my 9 to 5. I'm going to lose X, Y, and Z. But I'm now reinvesting my time and efforts and energy into this, and I already have built in these pending agreements, this one contract, and this relationship that I can foster a little bit more, that I know that it's on the brink of establishing some revenue stream for me. So, those are the kinds of decisions that will help push you over the hump in timing. And then the second thing is support. You can't do it alone. You can't be in business by yourself. You have to have, I always like to say, surround yourself with people who are more successful than you in certain aspects of your business.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's somebody who's great at talking you up. Maybe it's somebody who's a great accountant or is great at great at network marketing, or who's a great salesperson. But you can't do everything. You can't be the accountant, the marketer, the salesperson, the producer. Something is going to suffer.
Yep.
So you surround yourself with success.
That's right. And this is actually like Robert Kiyosaki always says that business is a team sport. You can't play by yourself or on your own. You have to have your teammates supporting you. So I'm totally in agreement with you. It is a ritual of my podcast show that I always request my guests to give me one of the most favorite quote that he or she has. So Steve gave me this one. If it's important to you, you will. Steve, can you kindly elaborate further a bit of why this quote and what is the impact on you in your life as an entrepreneur?
Well, I honestly don't know where I heard the quote, and I may have molded it from another quote, or I may have made it my own per se, but I use that for everything. I use that for my kids. I use that for my business relationships. I literally just text somebody that because why I mean that, and what do I mean by that? I mean that if it's important to you, you will be on time. If it's important to you, you'll pay me on time. If it's important to you, you'll make the relationship happen, or whatever that is. If it's not important to you, you'll make another excuse about it. You'll figure out a reason why you didn't do it.
Yeah.
But if it's really important to you to get up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym, you'll do it. If it's not, I need that extra half hour of sleep because I'm overworked. Well, then sleep outweighed the importance of getting up to the gym. So to me, it was just that kind of puts everything in perspective. It clears a lot of things up. You can tell a lot about people by their actions there.
That's right. And the word is important. Like here yesterday, we were debating in our group about things that can be important versus things can be urgent. And a lot of people don't understand the differences between important stuff and urgent stuff. And that's the reason why people like this feel overwhelmed all the time, because they do not know what they have to do, which are considered important. So this quote is very amazing. Thank you for sharing.
I appreciate that. That also leads me to what you just said. I just read something about somebody saying, stop saying how busy you are and start saying how productive you are. There's a big difference between being busy and being productive.
Yeah, busy may not lead to result, but productivity leads to result. So how would my audiences be able to find out more about you?
My social media is just at I am Steve Clayton, Clayton.
Yep.
And my website is IamSteveClayton.com.
I'm SteveClayton.com. This is where you can look for Steve and check out about what he's doing. And I'm sure that my audiences will got to learn a lot from Steve. Thank you for coming to my show and share with us your insights and some of your wisdom in entrepreneurship, turning passion into something that you love to do, and now you're helping more people to pursue the passion. And that concludes this episode of Cracking the Entrepreneur Code. And next time, I will bring on another very successful entrepreneur on the show, and he or she, whoever it might be, will share with you his or her insight, wisdom, and intelligence. So thank you very much, everyone. Jack Wong here. I'm signing off, and bye-bye.
To continue cracking the entrepreneur code, subscribe for more episodes and download the Amazon bestseller, Cracking the Entrepreneur Code, 7 Tips to Build the Business You Always Wanted at crackingentrepreneurcode.com. Learn more about author and host Jack H.M. Wong and book your 30-minute discovery session to overcome any professional challenge at jackhmwong.com/apply.